Are we live?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Base. Could we get any? We haven't got any viewers. Can we just see in the
Can we get
chat?
some confirmation? We tried going live earlier, but we got like a failure error, like on the screen
Yeah.
that it doesn't work. Well,
Actually,
we can go to YouTube ourselves. Let me see.
it says there's viewers now, not as many as we normally have. Guys,
Yeah,
is anyone in
we
the
got
chat?
like a big error message. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. Well,
Yeah, we're live.
welcome.
We're live.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Base. Sorry for the false start, but this was our second attempt at it. We got booted on the first attempt. Tone, the price is in that zone, where it's a bit frightening. Be interesting to see what you think. Today's going to be a quick show, but it's an important show. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to run through my charts?
I'll jump in and go first. Also, I added the link to the description. This one, the Financial Syndicate research. We did a video with them a couple of days ago. Hope you guys checked it out. People asked, "Hey, where's the link to this?" So go ahead and check them out. These are analysts that have a seal of approval from me. That they know what they're doing when it comes to trading. All right.
Hey, Tone, before you go any further, we've got no chat, I reckon. Can we just confirm?
No, we got chat. No, we have chat.
Where's my chat?
No, we have chat.
Yeah, but there's nobody chatting. And I can't.
No, there are. There's a bunch of people chatting.
Not on my end.
On my end, I see them. It's hard as chatting. Everyone's saying it's good. AV is good. Yeah, we're good.
I haven't got any of that. What the hell? All right. Sorry. No chat from me today.
All right. Yeah, no, I see the chat. We're good.
Bizarre.
All right. So on the price, the monthly, nothing else to say about the monthly. We just have to wait till the month is over. The weekly, I like this little wick, but we need a bullish week, right? We need to have a green candle. We need to completely reset the MRI. And until that happens, need a green star in the MRI. And until that happens, I'm going to continue to anticipate an MRI buy on the weekly sometime in March, back around the double bottom of the 200-week moving average, which will be a bit of a contradiction with the MRI saying buy, but the chart pattern of a double bottom saying sell. So we will have to deal with that bridge when we start to cross it. The daily is the one that was very concerning for me yesterday. I didn't mind Bitcoin consolidating in a range between 69 and 71. But yesterday we fell out of that range with a red star candle. And I said, hey, it is possible. I said this on our prior show with Matt. Hey, it's possible we get a secondary low that as a higher low to get a nice buy opportunity the way we got during the COVID crash. But you would only get like a few hours to buy that low, and it would be right in between the actual low that took place on February 6th and the low that would take place this week. But I don't know if I would call this a secondary low. Even though it does look like there is a daily wick, you had way too much time to buy this low at 65, 66,000. And in addition, we're pretty damn close to it right now. And we were even closer to it a few hours ago. So it's really hard for me to put this low in the same kind of category as, the secondary low in 2020. Where is that low in 2020? We have to go all the way back here. Right here. So there was a daily low here, right there. This one right here. It was like 3 days later. You can see how the secondary low gave you a nice buying opportunity at $4,400. And if you took a nap for like 2 hours, you missed it, and it was back about 5,000, right? So by percentage, that is pretty significant. Uh, and I don't feel that we had that kind of a secondary buy, that it was that quick. Uh, I will be back on the this dead cat bounce has some legs train if we start closing daily candles above 71,000. Until we
Right.
start closing daily candles above 71,000, I'm going to continue to think that Bitcoin has lower lows to go. And Matt, I want you to talk more about this green diamond
Mm.
in about 2 minutes, because I'm pretty much done. I did draw this box yesterday saying, hey, if you're in this box, that is the buying opportunity. And that's when these candles happened. And we got out of that area. But still, like, if this red candle was a green candle that closed at the top of its wick, and then the rest of the time was spent, like, let me just draw here. If all of these candles were in this zone and there wasn't anything else in this initial red box that I drew at the time, I would consider it that secondary low. But just having 3 hours to buy this low below 66,000 makes me think that this was not the secondary low. It really is that simple and that close to call. But I have no problem being potentially somewhat bullish uh, if we start making new hourly highs. Probably this one here. Once we start closing above 71,000, we close a few hourly candles above 71,000. We close a day behind 71,000, above 71,000, and I become bullish into the mid 80s. But that's about it. Bullish into the mid 80s. I do have my March 18th. Something critical is going to happen. Maybe that would be the low, though that might be in the middle of nowhere, unless that's the weekly MRI buy. But then the monthly MRI buy is calling for August, July, August, which is around the time BIP 110 is going to have a resolution. So we will see. We'll see where it all goes. At least Bitcoin is dominating shitcoins. That's a good sign. I think gold, this is the secondary top in gold, the opposite of what Bitcoin is doing. Silver, same thing. I've been too busy. I'm dealing with the whole BIP 110 content creation. So that's been taking up all of my attention. Another video coming today with Vortex. And we're going to this is that today's show is gonna today's BIP 110 coverage is gonna be completely one sided, like completely one sided. S&P is on a monthly MRI top, something to be very very aware of. Weekly consolidation. This is very bullish to me. Look at this weekly consolidation at the top. That is incredibly bullish. And on a daily scale, that is a very bullish looking chart as well. We are just one random confidence building statement from the government for a breakout to significant all-time highs. So this is I expect Bitcoin to be near all-time highs right now, but instead we're down 50%. So what is dragging Bitcoin? Well, you guys know my opinion. I think it's the big controversy over a contentious fork, and this is why my attention has been drawn back into the Bitcoin space. Uh, that's it. Matt, floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Before I go, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and do all those good things. Tickle the post, as my friends would say. All right, look, this is interesting for me. It's a very dangerous spot. I think I'm going to start in the 4-hour time frame. I said on Monday's show, I don't know where that was, right? But it was like we had rallied, right? On Monday's show. It could have been over here or over here. It doesn't matter, right? And I said, like, this is what's going to, I think's going to happen is that, we're not out of the woods right yet. It's very, very obvious to me. Yes, it was over here. We got rejected off the 50 simple moving average, or in that vicinity of the 50 simple moving average. I said it'd be very positive for us to come back down and put in a higher low, just as Tone said. It's obvious stuff, right? The higher low. So I in fact closed my long that I had on at 65.88, 65 800. When we got to about where that black line is, right at 67, we'll just call it 68,000, about that price. I was in a pretty huge trade, and I actually closed that trade out completely and took the profit on the trade. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. I was scared that we were going to come back down. I said, I'm not going to let this trade go into negative territory, right? I thought I want to put in a higher low. And I even said, like, it'll probably spook me if we come back down and get right near my price. And like it touched the price. Like I shouldn't have removed that line. It would like touched it to the dollar. Fucking annoying, right? But that's why I closed the trade, thinking like this is gonna, you guys are all NPCs and this is my world. And I knew that it was going to come back down and touch my price. So I was like, I'm not playing that game. I'm just going to get out of this thing. I'll get back into it if it comes back up, right? And that's what it did. Because I was afraid that it was going to like crash right down, and I was going to do what I said I was going to do, just buy back lower. But the other alternative is that it was going to put in a higher low right at my price, which is what it did. So alternatively, I took the profit that I made from that trade, and at the same price, around about the same price that I got it out of that trade, I got back into that trade with a larger entry size, which is kind of like being in the same trade that I was in before. The multipliers are different, obviously, but now I'm in a bigger trade. So from 67,900, it's okay, right? But I mean, the concern is still there, right? But now rather than having to get to, sort of 62 for me to consider this trade a dud, or my entry price, which was at 65 to consider this a dud, I could sort of call it at sort of 66,500 and get out of this trade in a loss if I have to, and still be half the percentage up that I was in from the profit that I took. This is sort of high concept stuff, but I'm happy to take that bet. I still believe that's the 4-hour time frame. I'm still in the opinion that this is a higher.
Matt, wait. So I have not been looking at the 4-hour time frame. I actually had no idea there was that MRI buy candle on the 4-hour time frame right at the low.
Yeah, magic. And that's actually very interesting too, because I put this position back on this the 4 candle, because I was worried there was going to be a 1 to 4 candle correction. But when that candle actually improved back to the price where I got out, vicinity of the price where I got out, I was like, okay, that's a bit more sustainable. I could definitely see that coming back down, touching the 7 simple moving average. But I think this is a nice area between there to put a punt on if you miss the weekly green diamond. So yeah, Tone, I'm with you, man. I agree. But look, I got to finish this show because Tone's in time sensitive. Looking at the weekly, that green diamond for me still stands as a winner, and the trade that I'm in now, it might not be in any profit really at all. It's not in any profit, but I'm going to let this thing simmer for a minute, because if we get too low, as I said, I'll call this trade. I'll get out of it, and I'll just do the same trade lower. I still think that this is the buy zone. Anywhere at the green diamond, on the green diamond, in this zone here, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, I don't care. I just want to plant a flag in the ground in a very large size position with limited, tiny little bit of leverage that I can sit in for like 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever. Make some serious profit on it. And I still think that trade is open to everybody right now. Anybody watching this show right now, if you entered the trade, a 2x leverage trade right now, you're in the same trade as me, right? But what the hell do I know? I can get out of it in 5 minutes. Will you be as dynamic and as quick to react as I am? I don't know. That's up to you. Coming back to you in the studio, Tone. It's funny when I talk about myself. I don't mean it to be just talking about myself, but I don't want to speak for other people, except for maybe you when you're not here. I could speak on behalf of you, and I think that I can represent you. But I just can talk about how I would act in this situation in live time, and you can decide if there's a lesson there or there's not. It doesn't really. That's the only way I can do the show. Tone, anything else to end on, mate? What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's good, and that's what people have to realize, right? We're just uh, we don't charge for this information. We're just telling you guys our opinions and what we're doing, right? We're not here to tell you what you should do with your money. We're just here telling you what we're doing with ours, and that's it.
That's it. That's it. And on that bombshell, I hope you have a good night. I hope Bitcoin recovers from here. I hope that you get into the trade as well, and it does really well. And we'll see you tomorrow. Eh? If you're available for tomorrow night, Tone, we'll be back here and we'll review this trade and see. Maybe I'm out. I don't know. Maybe it's long. Don't know.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, 50-50 on tomorrow, guys, but we'll try. We'll always do our best.
Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
thank you all for watching, and
Thanks
see
for
you
coming.
all on the next one. Good episode on my channel coming up in about an hour or two. Bye, guys.